What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and this Saturday is UFC 327, Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg. And because Jiri Prochazka is a former light heavyweight champion, and he's got a lot of experience, and also he has beaten everybody in the UFC, non-name Alex Pereira, in brutal fashion, he is favored to beat Carlos Ulberg this Saturday. But I've come up with a game plan for Carlos Ulberg to beat Jiri Prochazka this Saturday. I'm not saying he's going to win this fight, but if you're interested in seeing my prediction for this fight and other fights on UFC 327, stay tuned because it's dropping later this week. But with all that being said, let's get into the first key to victory I have for Carlos Ulberg, and that's going to be if there's one thing that most of Jiri Prochazka's opponents have had success with going against him is attacking his legs. He's got quite a wide stance, and a lot of the times his opponent are able to hurt him. Alexander Rakic was able to hurt Jiri's legs really bad with his calf kicks, and so was Alex Pereira. He was taking him off his feet with the leg kicks, and Carlos Ulberg does have some pretty good leg kicks as well. But a lot of the times he does hit the thigh, and I think against Jiri, you really need to target that calf because you want that quick damage on a guy that is so dangerous. So I feel like if Carlos Ulberg wants to beat Jiri, he's absolutely going to need to target those legs and especially the calf of Jiri. Moving on to another key territory I have for Carlos Ulberg, and that is the jab is such a great weapon in MMA to find your opponent and to set up bigger shots, and we've seen it be used effectively against Jiri, especially with Alex Pereira. He wasn't really letting it too much to the face, but he was able to catch Jiri to the body, and he would actually stop Jiri's momentum. And also sometimes Jiri was dipping down into it, so he would catch Jiri right on the jaw as Jiri was trying to level change for a takedown, or maybe he was trying to set something up by dipping down first and then coming back into a strike. So that's a great way to interrupt your opponent without really putting yourself in too much danger. It's a very safe weapon, and again, if you can land that, then you're going to be able to land bigger shots as the fight goes on. So I think mixing the jabs with the leg kicks is great for Carlos Ulberg to find and really get to Jiri Prochazka. But moving on to another key territory I have for Ulberg, and that is Jiri Prochazka has become a lot more elusive recently, especially in his last two fights against Khalil and Jamal. He was using his head movement a lot more, but I feel like there is an opening there. If Carlos Ulberg is able to throw some punches to get Jiri to react big and like dip into a certain direction and end off a combination with a head kick, I feel like he really could catch Jiri Prochazka off guard and catch him clean. And the goal of this is to get Jiri Prochazka's attention away from the kick, the head kick, right? So you want to get him to lower his hands and kind of free up his head. And we've seen Jiri get finished by a head kick with Alex Pereira with the left leg. And there's many combinations you can throw. You can throw like an uppercut into a left head kick, just like Alexander Rakic did to knock out Jimmy Manuwa. And if Jiri happens to switch to the southpaw stance, there is the best combination, and that is the cross to the head kick, which could be deadly for Jiri because it would be an open stance, and Ulberg will be able to generate a lot of power with his power leg, and Jiri dipping into that could be very dangerous for Jiri. But I feel like mainly combinations that end with the left kick could like do wonders for Carlos Ulberg. But if Jiri is in the southpaw stance, and the combinations that end with the right head kick could also put Jiri Prochazka to sleep. So I feel like this would be a solid tactic to use for Carlos Ulberg. But moving on to another key territory, and that is so a catch counter is essentially when you're defending something and you're immediately returning a strike. And typically, like, if somebody hits you to the body, you're gonna catch a body shot. Like, let's say they hit your left arm, you're gonna come back with a left hook, or if they hit your right arm, you're gonna come back with a right hand or a right uppercut. And you can apply that concept to several different attacks in MMA. But I feel like this is gonna be effective against Jiri because yes, you can counter him whenever he does miss a strike, like Khalil Rountree was doing to him. And so Jiri throws out a kick, but it doesn't land. It's kind of out of range, and you will see right here, Khalil just explodes, and that looks great on first glance, but Jiri is actually setting him up because he didn't throw that kick on purpose. He's actually baiting Khalil in so he can catch him with his spinning elbow. And so I feel like the most effective way to counter a guy like Jiri Prochazka is to catch his shots first, like defend it, and make sure you clearly defend it, like that like not just make him miss, like make him miss a kick or make him miss a punch, because he can follow up with something that's kind of unexpected, like that spinning elbow. But if you're able to almost kind of interrupt him and kind of throw when he's not really expecting him and when he's expecting you to defend, then I feel like you'll have a lot more success with Jiri, and you won't be in danger of being set up by a spinning elbow like Khalil was. But yeah, I do think that this will be very effective against Jiri Prochazka. We've seen it like work against him like in several fights, and a guy like Carlos Ulberg, he's very sharp with his counter striking. So if he's able to, catch the shots of Jiri and then follow up right away, I think he can catch him and catch him when Jiri is not expecting to be hit. And that is when they say that you're going to get hurt the most, is when you're not expecting to get hit. So this will be a great tactic for Ulberg. But moving on to another key territory I have for him, and that is now, this is the most important thing Carlos Ulberg has to do in this fight, and that is to control the exchanges. And what I mean by that is engage on your terms and make sure you don't engage in a brawl with Jiri Prochazka, because he does a great job of making fighters get into these brawls with him. Like, yes, these guys might have some rounds, they might have some moments on Jiri, but he's able to throw so much power and pressure that it makes his opponents really uncomfortable and it gets him tired, and he's able to put them away because of these like chaotic brawls. Not many people have been able to brawl with him. It's just Pereira, because he's got that crazy power. But Pereira did something very important that I don't think his opponents did, and that is to engage on his terms. Like in this clip, for example, Pereira, like, yes, he's getting clipped, but he's staying safe. He's making sure that he's moving away and defending and also grabbing Jiri so that he doesn't get hit anymore. When you have a juggernaut like Jiri rushing you, you have several options. You can either try to move away from him, you can try to tie him up, or you can try to stand there and throw back. And that is a mistake that some guys make. And sometimes, like, it's not even their fault, because he just forces you to throw. Like, he's just in your face, and then, like, guys think that they can hit him, but it's a mistake because he's ready to counter you. He's ready to engage in that fire. He doesn't mind getting hit, but he'll also counter you now. He'll move out the way and then come back with a counter where he can hurt you. Especially if you think that you have Jiri hurt, that is when he becomes very dangerous, because you can start getting a little bit sloppy and desperate to just get your hands on him, that he'll still be in there, still be ready to throw while you're not quite as ready. And yeah, again, he's going to punish you. But luckily, this is something that Carlos Ulberg already does really well. He does a great job managing the distance. I mean, he looked like untouchable against Dominic Reyes. Like, to be honest, I don't even remember Dominic Reyes hitting Ulberg at all in that fight. He was that sharp, and I think he's going to need to do this in this fight. And again, this is something Alex Poatan Pereira did. So Jiri pressures Pereira and he clips Pereira with some shots, so Pereira moves away from him, and you'll notice he actually does a catch counter from Jiri. He catches the right hand with his left arm, and then he'll come back with a right hand to left hook, which knocks Jiri out. So it's very important that Carlos Ulberg makes sure he disengages from Jiri, doesn't throw when Jiri wants him to throw, and he throws on his terms. And then also, like, make sure you plant your feet so you can generate as much power as possible, so you can almost punch Jiri off of you, and also use those catch counters to defend yourself and counter from Jiri. And also, don't hesitate to go into a clinch to stop the onslaught from Jiri Prochazka. But moving on to the last key to reach I have for Carlos Ulberg, and that is Jamal Hill was actually having success attacking Jiri Prochazka's body in the second round of their fight. He was starting to damage Jiri a little bit. It seemed like Jiri wasn't quite as explosive as he normally was. And Jiri is a guy that is known to have an incredible chin. Like, we haven't really seen anybody be able to put his lights out in the UFC outside of Alex Pereira. A lot of guys have hit him with quite a bit of heavy strikes, but it doesn't quite get the job done. So for a guy like Ulberg you know, when a guy like Jiri is going to be pressuring you, you got to find a way to punch him off you if the head strikes aren't giving Jiri enough respect. Like, everybody is going to have to respect those body shots, and Ulberg displayed some great body shots in his fight against Dominic Reyes. He landed some nice punches, and I think he can do the same when Jiri is in the southpaw stance. Look for that cross to the body right on the center of his chest, right on the center of his body. Look to dig that body shot. Look to dig that roundhouse kick when he is in the southpaw stance, and when he's in the orthodox stance, look for the teeps to the body or the body jabs. That way you can start to slow down your Prochazka, and you can start to get some respect and stop that pressure potentially. If he is not going to respect your punches, go downstairs, chop that tree down, and eventually the head will follow. But that does it for my keys to victory for Carlos Ulberg, and obviously he's going to need to do a lot more to be your Prochazka. Either way, it's going to be a very fun fight in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Carlos Ulberg has a chance to be your Prochazka? With all that being said, make sure you guys like and subscribe. God bless, and I will see you in the next one.
Peace in our time.